Hi, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to this week's Motivational Moments episode. Today, we're going to be talking about the power of joy and happiness. And as far as joy goes, I think it's something that we work on every day because as human beings, things happen. We have challenges, we have obstacles, we get depressed, anxious, sad. We have a lot of emotions that we really don't know what to do with sometimes, and it's really hard to be joyful when you're not happy. But there's always something to be joyful for and something to be happy about. So I wanted to talk a little bit more about that, and also wanted to show you a sign that I have outside my office. And it started out, I put it up for Christmas 2 years ago, and it says joy. Well, it's still there. And I guess it's early for Christmas, but I just love to keep it there because when I walk into my office, the first thing I see outside my door is this plaque that says joy. And just seeing that word makes me feel more joyful. And it's also a reminder that, you know what? I have a choice, and you do too. I can choose to be joyful. I can choose to be happy. And that is so important. You know, where do we put our focus? You know, whatever we put our attention to expands. So if you're putting your attention to the negative things that are happening in your life, you're going to draw more negative things back into your life because it's a law of attraction. You attract what you think about, you attract what you say most often. So thoughts are extremely important as well as the words you use on a regular basis. I read something recently, I think it was from the Dalai Lama, I'm not sure, it was pretty cool, about the power of thought. And he said, each thought, I'll read it, is like a stone dropped into the lake. And think about that. It's sending ripples out into our world to affect all that they touch. So remember, your attitude is something that's contagious. Your attitude is picked up by those around you. It's just normal. Have you been around people that are depressed and sad, and after you're talking to them for a little while, all of a sudden you feel like, wow, my mood changed. You know, I feel kind of depressed. I feel kind of sad because we absorb other people's energies. So it's really important that we try to keep ourselves in check, trying to be happy, trying to be more joyful. And then we extend that into the world. More people are going to be around you if you're happy, if you're joyful, than if you're going to be depressed and anxious and sad and worried, all those kinds of things. And remember, again, it is a choice. And it's not always easy to make that choice, especially when you're sad or depressed. But it is something you could do. You could find joy in anything. Just walk outside. Smell the fresh air, look at flowers, take a walk. It doesn't take a whole lot of effort to find things that are more joyful. I also read a story talking about the Dalai Lama. He turned 86 years old last month in October. 86. And you know what? His whole life has been about advocating peace and kindness. His whole life has been about that. And he has made remarkable changes in our world because of the attitude that he holds and how he treats other people in the world. So you got to think about how you treat other people. In fact, I read a quote by him recently that said, if you want to be happy, practice compassion. Compassion is so much of a joyful happiness giver. Because when you are compassionate about other people and you are giving to other people and compassionate, wow, that just increases your own happiness and joyfulness. For example, last week I volunteered for my Rotary Club to participate in the food bank, the local food bank for the Barnabas Center here. And our task was to load up food that had come in from donations. They had so many donations by various generous community. And they needed the shelf stocked. Anyway, so my job was to stock all the soup cans that came in. And for a couple hours, that's what I did. And I tell you what, I thought about each can of soup as I placed them on the shelves. It stimulated old memories of like chicken noodle soup, remembering when I was little and how my parents would feed me chicken noodle soup or Campbell's tomato soup with little baby noodles in it. And I just felt so joyful. The other thing that made me feel joyful was the fact that I was putting food on shelves that someone and many families were going to enjoy. And these are people that would come to the food pantry because they don't have enough money to supply food for their families, but they do have a place to go where they can receive food and be able to supply that to their own families. So when you do things like that, put things in perspective, you realize that, wow, I am so lucky. I have cans of food in my own pantry. So anyway, I just want you to start thinking about what you can do to be more joyful and more happy, and to look for those little things that will get you in the mood, and to spread that mood out to anybody that you can and make a difference in the world, no matter how small, no matter how big. So anyway, thanks for joining me today, and please have a blessed week. And remember, this is November. Every day in November is a day to be thankful. And we're getting close up to Thanksgiving pretty soon. So count your blessings, be thankful, and be happy. Thanks.